Hello and welcome back to the second episode of our landscape tutorial series. This episode will be focusing on upgrading this material to some realistic textures. So to begin with, we're just going to want to add this featured content up here. Content, starter content, and we can add this to the project. Once it's added, it'll add this starter content. It may already have been added when you created your project. If not, just follow along like it just did. Then we'll open up the maps folder and open the starter map. So these are all the textures Epic has provided us in the starter content pack. Today we'll just be focused on this grass texture over here, and then one of these rock textures. When I was browsing around, they didn't have a dirt one, so we'll just translate the dirt into rock. So if we go back to our landscape, update this and save. So to begin with, we're going to want to duplicate our material. So we can right click, duplicate, and then m_realistic_landscape. And then we can open this up. So to make it from this two-tone to something a little bit more realistic, we're going to want to click our material node, and then you'll see this use material attributes. Then you can click true and it'll close up the window. And then what we can do is place the layer blend into the input. And don't worry about all these errors for now, we'll fix these up. And then we can delete our old textures as well. This is just because there's nothing, we can just ignore this. So to begin with, we're going to want to right click and add a make material attributes node. We can add two of those because we're going to be using two textures. Afterwards, we can drag the output into the corresponding layer. And I just have a habit of saving all the time. So to find the textures that we're going to be using, we're going to want to go down to our content drawer, starter content, textures, and then we can type in grass. And now these Epic textures only have the base color and normal. Base color is also referred to as diffuse. In later episodes, we'll be getting one that actually do utilize roughness, maybe metallic, displacement. So then we just come down and then add our other texture, which for this one we're going to be using slate, or t_rock slate, and drag these in. And then if I can reorganize them, we can just drag the RGB into the base color, and then the RGB here into the normal map. Save it. And then I'm just going to add a scalar parameter to these roughness nodes. So type this one slate, 1. Now I'm just going to add another one for the grass. That you could share a node if you want. Apply, and we're going to make sure all these textures are good. Before we leave though, we're actually going to click and drag to select all of them, and then we're going to hit C on the keyboard, and that'll comment the selected nodes. When you get a lot more materials, you can see how this gets out of hand. Already now it may be a lot to some people. So you do m_slate for this one. And if we come back out to our landscape, select it, go to the details tab, we can just switch over the landscape material from our prototype to our realistic one. So we're just going to fix up some of this texture bugs over here. So to do so, we're going to right click on the grass and click fill layer, and that's going to get rid of all those inconsistencies. As you can see, it also overlays with our rock though. So to fix this, we're just going to add a new layer. Rename this one to paint_grass fill. And now we're going to fill the layer. And then we're just going to reduce the alpha to around 0.1 so the rock will pop through. This looks good. And then we're just going to deal with this little area back over here. As you can see, I get that push bug again, so I just have to decrease the fall off to 0, and I can paint over it and push it around. And so we're going to add one more thing to our material, which is a texture coordinate node. And we're just going to put these into the UV slot, and then we're going to make another texture coordinate node down here. And drag these into the UVs. And apply. And nothing's changed yet, so what we have to do is go back, and then we can change this UV tiling to 0.1 and the V tiling to 0.1. And that's basically going to zoom in on the texture. And as you can see, it's quite a bit larger than it previously was. I've come over to the mountain. It still may be a little bit too dense for you, so you can zoom it out a little bit more. And now the rock texture is a little bit larger. And yeah, that's the basics of how to add some higher quality textures to your landscape material. I hope you guys learned something. I'll catch you up in the next episode.